I slump into my worn-in leather armchair, nudge off my work boots, and stretch my toes until they sigh. The Buchanan place ate my whole day, punky joists, flaking plaster, and a century-old staircase that fought me like a stubborn every muscle comes, follows honestly. My phone rattles like a cup of tea. I ignore it, reaching instead for the packet I bought a few minutes ago. The wine catches the last slips, moving through the craftsman's windows, a deep garnet glow emanates. The phone goes, with a slow breath, I take a long sip and pick it up, swiping through the easy cascade. Contractors, clients, delivery workers. Then my thumb storms. A photo blooms on the screen. My sister, Nyla, her veil soft as public silk around her face. The caption, final fitting for the big day. Nyla and Travis. Forever after. My lungs forget how to work. Wedding. What wedding? I flick through my feed, faster now. Shots flood in. Cousin Marissa modeling bridesmaid gowns, Aunt Rosa fanning out flower swatches, my mother's hands cradling ivory invitations edged in gold. Invitations I never saw. I tap the newest post. Comments tumble under it. Can't wait for next month. That venue is gorgeous. So blessed to be part of your day. 57 comments. Relatives. Family, friends. People I haven't seen since high school. Everyone's included. Everyone but me. The phone rings, sharp enough to make me jump. Cynthia Alvarez flashes across the screen. Of course. Mom, I answer. Debra, honey. Her voice is measured, as if walking a line. I was about to call you. How's work? Work is fine. My free hand tightens. I just saw Nyla's wedding dress on Instagram. 3 beats of quiet. Oh. A small clear of the throat. I was going to call you about that. My own sister's wedding. I ask, heat rising. Did my invitation vanish in the mail? Debra, she says, that familiar, scolding softness creeping in. Don't make this about you. You know how sensitive Nyla is. Sensitive. I stare at the Denver skyline winking in the distance. What does that have to do with? You're always so busy with your career, she continues. Nyla felt you wouldn't make the time. So you all decided for me? You decided I shouldn't be there. Travis thinks family is important, she offers, as if it explains anything. And I'm not family. Of course you are, she says, tired already. But after everything. After you criticized her cafe. I co-signed her loan. My voice levels out, flat. $22,000. I paid it off when she walked away. She had the children to think about. Mom snaps, steel sliding into silk. Single motherhood isn't easy. I lean my forehead to the cool window pane. Old scenes spool up, 10-year-old Nyla smashing grandma's vase and my shoulders taking the blame, 17-year-old Nyla sneaking out and me covering for her, 16-year-old me announcing an engineering scholarship and Mom saying, of course you did, you're the responsible one. Responsible. Always. I wasn't forgotten, I murmur. I was removed. Now you're being dramatic, she sighs. We'll talk later. I need to help Nyla with the seating chart. The call dies. Fresh posts bloom, Nyla twirling in her dress. Travis taste-testing cakes with his groomsmen. My parents smiling beside them. A family portrait, minus me. Messages ping from the edges of my life. Did you see? From Jenna. What the hell? From Marcus at work. Even Mrs. Henderson next door. Dear, are you aware of what's happening with your family? 35 years pressed down on my chest. I spend my days salvaging beautiful bones from forgotten houses. I bring back what's worth keeping. But I cannot seem to rebuild my standing in the family that raised me. Something shifts, not hot anger, not a slice of grief. Colder. Clearer. A quiet, bracing certainty. I open Instagram. Methodically, I unfollow my sister. Then my mother. My father. The cousins. My fingertips feel like setting down bricks I've carried too far. Not punishment. Policy. A boundary. The last light drains from the room. I don't turn on a lamp. In the settling dark, I feel lighter than I have in years. For once, I'm not sprinting after the shards other people dropped. The hush that follows sounds like freedom. 3 days later, my tires crunch up the familiar gravel of my parents' Victorian in Boulder. Morning sun fractures through the stained glass panel above the door, throwing ruby and amber onto the porch boards. The gingerbread trim frames the house like a memory I can't quite set down. Dad appears in the garage's mouth, half-shadowed beside the 1967 Mustang he's been nursing back to life since I was a teenager. He wipes his hands on an old rag, glances toward the house, then to me.
He doesn't wave. Dad. Debbie.
He nods, retreating to the sanctuary of tools and metal. Your mother's inside.
Of course she is.
Of course he won't stand shoulder to shoulder with her now.
Some things never evolve. The screen door sighs as I step in.
The house smells like cinnamon and coffee, Mom's preferred armor when feelings get loud. She appears in the doorway, concern arranged neatly across her face.
Debra.
I was just about to call.
Coffee?
I made your favorite coffee cake. I don't want coffee.
I stay planted in the entry.
I want to know why I wasn't invited to Nyla's wedding. Her smile flickers, then returns, thinner. Oh, honey, it's complicated. You've been so busy with.
Don't. I cut in.
That's not a reason. She fusses with the pot anyway, buying seconds. Nyla was afraid you wouldn't approve of Travis.
You can be intimidating.
Intimidating?
My eyebrows lift.
Because I asked questions when she introduced him after 3 weeks. He thinks family is important, Mom repeats, setting down 2 quivering mugs. And you've always been so independent.
The garage door thumps. Dad shuffles in, eyes on the floorboards. Don't make this harder, he mutters.
For who?
Heat climbs my throat. For Nyla?
For Travis? Or for you two, who always make excuses? Mom's eyes glisten, tears she can summon like weather.
That's not fair. Fair. The word cracks out of me. Was it fair when I co-signed her cafe and ate the debt? $22,000, Mom.
I've been paying while she posts Sedona sunsets.
She had the children, Dad says, finally looking up.
After Eric left. Eric left 4 years ago. The cafe died last year.
They say nothing.
So, she found a paycheck with a jawline, and somehow I'm the problem.
I ask. Silence answers.
Did Travis say he didn't want me there?
I press. The quiet thickens. That's all the answer I need.
He thinks I don't care about family.
The laugh that leaves me is sharp, ugly.
A man who's known her 7 months gets to measure my loyalty.
Please try to understand. Mom reaches for my arm. This wedding means everything. After the cafe. After Eric.
The kids need stability.
Always the kids as a shield. Emma, 8. Lucas, 6. Names hold out whenever the bill comes due. And what do I need? I ask softly.
After the loans, after the babysitting, after the 2 a.m. subfests.
You're stronger, Mom says, like it's praise.
You've always been the responsible one. The responsible one.
The family bank. The unpaid therapist. The backup parent. Never the sister worth a seat. I turn for the door.
The weight of their expectations feels heavier than the timber beam I wrestled yesterday.
Debra, Mom calls.
We're family.
Is that what we are?
Where are you going?
Dad asks. Away, I say simply.
If Nyla wants a perfect wedding, she can have it without me.
They stare as if the world just tilted.
As if it never occurred to them that I could step aside instead of stepping in. 20 minutes later, I slide into a booth at the Copper Kettle. Jenna spots the storm on my face and arrives with a latte I didn't have to order.
She slides into the seat across from me.
That bad?
Worse. My hands wrap the warm mug. Travis thinks I don't care about family. That's why I'm not invited. Travis, she repeats, eyeing the ceiling.
The guy who's known your sister for approximately 5 minutes. Apparently.
Jenna glances around, then pulls out her phone.
Speaking of Mr. Family.
She turns the screen toward me.
Kelly took these last night at Downtown Lounge.
Photos. Travis with a blonde who isn't my sister. Their bodies angled together, whisper close. In the last shot, his mouth is on her neck. My stomach knots, not with shock, but with a sour confirmation of an instinct I should never voice. When? I ask. Last night.
11ish.
I push the phone back. And what would you like me to do with that? Tell Nyla? Tell your parents.
Call off the circus.
She leans in.
Stop a train before it hits the bridge.
The old version of me would have sprinted down the tracks waving both arms.
The old me would have taken the collision, too.
No, the word feels strange but right. I'm not doing that. Debra.
I'm not invited, I say, steady.
It's not my place.
If there's truth to find, it will find them without me.
Jenna studies me like I've grown a second spine. This isn't you.
Maybe it should be. The calm settles deeper. I've been holding their safety net so long, they forgot it was my hands keeping it up. And if she marries him, then she marries him.
The answer lands lighter than I expect.
You can't save a person who wants the fall.
For the first time in my life, I choose stillness over rescue.
It's unfamiliar,
uncomfortable.
And when the discomfort thins, something else is there beneath it. Relief.
3 weeks pass.
I pour a glass of Cabernet and settle in my window nook, Denver glittering against the night. Today is the day. The Ridgewood estate, all white roses and gold trim, the kind of place that smells like money and polished history. 150 guests, local press, breathless captions.
I keep my phone face down.
I tell myself work will steady me. I even crack open restoration ethics and historical architecture. The phone starts its insect hum, once, twice, 27 notifications in 4 minutes. I should turn it off. Instead, old reflex wins and I smile. A video fills the screen. Handheld, digital. Ridgewood's grand glory. A sea of white flowers and shimmer. Guests press back to the photos. Center, Nyla in face. Mascara flex in her face. A perfect dress is wrinkled in her fists. Travis looms, Texas, pride hanging like a surrendered flag. You knew I was seeing someone, he shouts, voice screaming. You set me up. Nyla shuts his chest. Everyone knew. You weren't discreet. His arm flashes, open palm, a crack like a snapped laugh, and connects with her cheek. Gasps ricochet. The video lurches as the filmer flinches.
It cuts off. I scroll through the incoming flood. Debra, are you seeing this?
From Jenna. Read Alvara's mess on Instagram from Marcus. Mrs. Henderson, ever vigilant. Dear, your family is on Channel 9.
I open the local news app.
It's already labeled breaking. Society wedding ends in assault charges. Another angle plays. I catch my mother's stricken face, my father straining forward before 2 men restrain him. The anchor's smooth voice narrates. Police called, allegations of infidelity, the groom arrested.
I click the phone dark and drop it onto the cushion.
My pulse thunders, fierce and ugly. A flicker of vindication tries to rear up, quickly drowned by something better.
Concern.
No matter everything, seeing my sister struck on the day she chose for her fairytale scrapes something raw inside me. I refill my glass and wait for what's next, because there is always a next. It arrives at 11:47 p.m., right on cue. Cynthia Alvarez glows across the screen. Mom. Sobbing fills my ear, thin and ragged. Debra, your sister's hurt. Please come. Every muscle in me reaches for an old script. I'll be right there.
I'll fix it.
The words hover, habitual and obedient. Then I remember the photos I had to find out about with the rest of the internet. The years of rushing in to hold up someone else's sky.
The money I'm still paying back.
I wasn't invited, I say quietly. Showing up now would make it worse.
Her breath catches. But she needs you, she whispers.
She always needed you. No, I answer, gentle but firm.
She needed Travis. She needed a stage and an audience and the illusion of safety.
What she needed from me was absence. That's not fair, Debra.
I know.
I trace the rim of my glass, watching the city lights wobble through dark wine. Neither was excluding me. Silence stretches into something that almost sounds like thinking. I can feel her mind casting around for the old levers, the guilt, the duty, the dependable fix.
They don't slot into place this time. I'm sorry for what happened, I add, softer. Truly.
But I'm not your solution.
The line goes dead.
I stare at the black screen, and something heavy unhooks in my chest. For the first time, I didn't run into a burning room just because my family lit the match. I sleep better that night than I have in years. The next evening, Jenna shows up with Ty from the place on 17th. We eat at my island while the muted TV cycles through footage of Ridgewood Gate. You okay? She asks, spinning noodles. That's a lot. Better than I expected.
I smirk. The neighbors keep approaching me like I survived a shipwreck.
Mrs. Henderson delivered banana bread. Crisis carbs. Jenna nods, then grows thoughtful. Your mom call?
Last night. I didn't go.
Her eyebrows lift. That's new.
Long overdue, I say. My phone buzzes, Marcus checking in. Some families only value you when they need something fixed. Trust me. I let the truth of that settle like ballast. A knock lands on my front door after 9.
Through the peephole I see my father, drenched by a sudden downpour, no umbrella, rain sluicing from silver hair.
He looks older, edges washed out.
Debra, he calls, voice thin through the wood.
Please. I need to talk to you. It's about the house.
I rest my forehead against the cool door, feel the faint thud of his fist. Petty, exhausted me imagines letting him stand in the rain long enough to taste what abandonment feels like.
But his slumped shoulders tug at the old rope between us. I open the door.
You have 10 minutes, I say.
And if this is about Nyla?
It's worse. He steps in, water puddling at his feet, and produces a swollen manila envelope. Much worse.
While he towels off, I put the kettle on. Some conversations demand steam.
He returns smaller somehow, envelope gripped like a confession. We've been using your money for something else, he says. The kettle sings. I pour over tea bags, buying time. What money? The monthly checks.
For the house. 4 years ago, they told me the mortgage was choking them.
I've been sending $1,100 every month since.
For the mortgage, I say.
Not exactly. He slides the envelope across the table.
A home equity line.
A HELOC. I tip out the contents, bank statements, loan documents, foreclosure notices. The loan amount blares, a clean, brutal $195,000. You took a HELOC.
My voice goes flat.
He nods, studying his hands.
For Nyla. After Eric left.
The kids needed stability.
I scan the forms. Co-signers, Cynthia Alvarez. Nyla Alvarez. My stomach drops.
Dad, Nyla hasn't lived there in years. How did she co-sign?
Your mother, he swallows.
She told the bank Nyla was living with us.
The room tilts.
So the money I've been sending went to the HELOC, he finishes.
I fetch my calculator. Key clicks puncture the silence. 4 years.
12 months.
$1,100.
My hands keep moving. My voice sounds distant when it arrives. $82,000. You've taken $82,000 from me under false pretenses.
Debbie.
Where did the money go? I slam my palm down. A mug sloshes tea across the paperwork.
Neither of us wipes it. Nyla's debts. Legal fees. The down payment on her house.
Travis had requirements.
I let out a laugh stripped of humor. Travis. The man who hit her at their wedding. My money funded his checklist. He doesn't answer. He doesn't need to. I stand, retrieve my phone and camera, and begin documenting. Click. Click.
Every signature.
Every line.
What are you doing? He asks. Documenting fraud. I say, steady now. Falsified residency on a loan application.
Bank fraud.
You can't. I can, I reply, and keep going.
And I will.
It would ruin your mother.
He flinches.
And the kids. Don't put this on me.
I lift a hand without looking up. I didn't lie.
I didn't steal.
His face folds in on itself.
We never meant.
You meant to take it. You just didn't mean to get caught. My phone buzzes. Mortgage investigator contact incoming. Marcus texts. Cousin owes me a favor. How much is left? I ask. About $70,000.
The bank called the balance due today. He rubs a hand over his face.
No one will refinance us. Not after everything.
I photograph the last page, set the camera aside. Why tell me now?
Your mother thought we could buy time.
After the wedding blew up, the bank refused.
And he looks at me then, really looks.
After you were shut out of the wedding, I couldn't keep doing this.
Not to you. I don't answer. I don't need to.
Some truths don't make a sound when they land. They are just suddenly there, too solid to ignore. The next day, my living room becomes a layperson's war room. The oak dining table I rescued from an 1880s farmhouse was a grid of bank statements, screenshots, deposit slips.
Betrayal laid out in chronological order.
I invited exactly one person from the family, Aunt Rosa, Dad's sister, the only one who never mistook favoritism for love.
You look tired, Mija, she says, stepping into the doorway. Her silver-threaded hair frames frank eyes.
Not tired, I say, aligning a stack of statements.
Ready.
Thank you for coming. Family should tell the truth, she answers, not pretty lies.
The bell rings again.
15 minutes early, which is the kind of timing my mother believes is power. Rosa retreats to the kitchen to make coffee I doubt anyone will drink.
I open the door to 3 familiar shadows.
Mom wears her usual mask of wounded dignity.
Dad studies the floor.
Nyla stands half a step behind them, arms wrapped around her waist like she's holding herself together.
Come in, I say, voice even. With my mask, I smile, taking back consciousness. Nyla gasps. Dad deflates further. Mom's mouth thins to a point. We sit. No one touches the cups on Rosa.
I remain standing. What is all this drama for? Mom finally asks, has this been history? If you need financial help. Stop.
The word lands like a chisel.
For once,
I slide the first document to half.
This is the helicopter 4 years ago. $100.
With Nyla listed as innocent,
claiming she lives in the house.
Dad closes his eyes.
This, I add, laying down another page, is the rental agreement I signed when I moved out 12 years ago. It includes a clause forbidding you from using my financial information or claiming residency without my consent.
I tap the stack of bank statements.
And these are the transfers. $1,100 from me to you every month. $82,000 total. You told me it was the mortgage. Nyla's color drains. Mom? What is she talking about? Your mother told me the house needed repairs. I continue, not looking away from Cynthia. A roof, the foundation.
That you were struggling in retirement. You asked for help.
I agreed. I fan out photographs, grainy bank lobby stills of my mother depositing my checks straight into the Helic payment account.
Cynthia lifts her chin.
I did what I had to do to keep a roof over the children. You kept that roof with my money and my trust, I say, voice even, fury banked. Money I earned working 60-hour weeks while repaying Nyla's failed cafe loan.
Nyla gapes. Cafe loan?
You said that was a refinance. Your sister co-signed, Aunt Rosa says quietly. When the cafe failed, she paid it back. Dad finds his voice, rough with shame. Debbie, we never meant. Intent doesn't erase fraud.
I don't raise my volume. I don't need to. Fraud.
Mom sputters. We're family. Family doesn't forge facts, I answer. Family doesn't steal. Nyla stares at the papers, hands trembling.
I didn't know, Debra.
Mom said you approved everything. I believe you, I tell her. Nyla has always been the golden child, but never the architect.
Mom exhales sharply.
What do you want?
To see your parents in jail?
Make your sister homeless with 2 children. Cynthia. Dad's voice slices clean for the first time in years. Enough.
He lays his hands flat on the table.
Debbie has every right to be furious. If you want the house, we'll sign it over. The side lot, we can sell it and repay what we took. Mom's hands twist, but she says nothing.
I look at my father. Really look? The man who taught me to save old wood and make it hold weight again.
His eyes hold shame. Yes, but also relief.
Secrets are heavy.
I don't want your house, I say. I want this to stop.
Aunt Rosa pulls a small notebook from her purse.
I spoke to a friend at First American Title.
We can file a quick claim on the side lot today.
Put it in Debra's name, sell it clean. The Miller boy next door asked about it, Dad says, almost hopeful. He wants to expand his garden. Fine, Mom snaps, the word small and mean. I don't need an apology, I tell them, surprised to find it true. I need peace. The quiet that follows is different, less like a storm brewing, more like the air after a tree finally falls. 2 weeks later we sit under fluorescent lights while a title attorney slides documents across a conference table.
Dad signs first.
Mom hesitates, then drags her pen through her name.
I don't rehearse speeches. I sign where I'm told and take my copies.
On the sidewalk, Dad touches my sleeve. I'm sorry, Debbie, he says, voice gone thin. For everything.
I nod because anything I say might crack open something I've only just sealed.
Nyla approaches last, careful and small.
I'll pay you back, she whispers. Every cent. Take care of your kids, I say.
Stand up on your own feet.
Tays spill. She nods. I drive home with the windows down, autumn air roughing my hair. Jenna calls. Done? She asks.
It's done, I say. How do you feel? I consider. The anger still burns, but it's been tempered, less wildfire, more forge. Hot enough to shape, not to ruin. Like I finally put down weight that wasn't mine. 3 days later, a certified check arrives, the side lot sale closed fast.
The number isn't neat or complete.
It doesn't balance the ledger. But as I fold it into my wallet, I understand I've recovered something I didn't realize I'd misplaced. The authority to decide what I carry. Morning light spills across my kitchen counter, soft as cream, touching every surface I've restored with my own hands. The little gun barrel ranch I bought a year ago sits at the corner of a quiet street, its windows framing a view of the flatirons that still stuns me daily. I run my fingers along the sanded oak countertop, remembering the raw splinters it once had, the same way I remember the raw edges of myself that finally healed.
My phone vibrates against the granite.
I expect another message from Balance Forward, the non-profit where I'm hosting tomorrow's workshop on financial abuse. Instead, the screen flashes a name I haven't seen in weeks.
Nyla.
Thank you for letting me make things right. The kids miss you. I stare at the words for a moment, surprised by the calm they bring. No sting, no guilt, just an even pulse of awareness. Through mutual friends, I've heard pieces of her new life.
She's working 3 jobs. No handouts.
Emma walks herself to school.
Lucas joined Little League.
For the first time, Nyla's building something with her own strength instead of someone else's scaffolding.
I type slowly.
I'm free Saturday afternoon if you'd like to bring them by.
Her reply comes instantly.
Just me first.
We need to talk.
I add a condition, one that feels natural now, not defensive.
2 o'clock. I have plans at 4.
Boundaries used to feel like walls. Now they feel like architecture, strong, necessary, and mine. Saturday arrives with a gentle rain drumming on the windows. When her compact sedan turns into the driveway, I notice the missing hubcap, the small dent in the door. No more shiny SUVs bought on borrowed credit. She steps onto the porch clutching a small wooden box, rainwater glinting in her hair, uncolored, straight, natural. The little girl gloss is gone. You look different, I say, stepping aside. 3 jobs will do that. Her smile is faint but real. No time for highlights when you're cleaning offices at night. We settle at the kitchen island where 2 mugs of tea wait. No wine this time. I've learned what false comfort tastes like. This is for you.
She places the box between us. I lift the lid.
Inside lies our grandfather's pocket watch, its gold dull from age but still dignified. The only heirloom I'd ever wanted. I remember asking for it once, years ago, and being told it was lost.
How did you?
Dad found it when they cleared out the Victorian.
Her voice trembles.
I remembered how you wanted it.
I wind the stem gently.
The tick starts slow, then steady. For something forgotten so long, it keeps perfect time. Maybe time doesn't erase mistakes, I murmur, but it teaches you when to stop repeating them. We sit in silence, the rain punctuating the air between us, not strained, not awkward, just quiet honesty after years of noise. She breaks first. What did you do with the money? From the land sale.
I meet her eyes.
I didn't keep it.
Confusion creases her face.
Mom said. I opened college funds. For Emma and Lucas.
Her eyes widen.
After everything we did? After you found out? I'm done rescuing adults, I say, and the truth settles peacefully on my tongue. But kids still deserve a fair chance. Her throat works around a sob she won't let out.
She nods.
I'll pay you back one day. I hope you do, I answer, but not for me.
For them.
When she leaves an hour later, there's no dramatic hug, no rehearsed forgiveness. Just a mutual understanding, a bone finally set straight after years of limping through love. That evening, the rain lifts, leaving the world rinsed and golden. I sit on my porch swing, notebook open on my lap, watching the sun smear the mountains in amber light. The pocket watch ticks softly beside me, a rhythm older than regret. I write one line. The softest revenge is peace and quiet. No bitterness curls beneath the words, no hunger for apologies that will never satisfy. Only the steady breath of freedom, the realization that I don't need to rebuild everyone else's wreckage to prove my worth. For the first time in 35 years, I'm restoring something truly mine. Not an old house, not a broken promise, but the woman who finally learned she didn't need to fix anyone to be whole. And in that stillness, I know